Wanted to do a little progress report and an overview of my channel here before I get to the game review. In the description of this video, I'll put a pointer to where the game review starts in the video if you just want to go and check out my review of my game from last week. So let's take a look at the channel here. I started this, I guess, 4 years ago. It says the oldest video here was 4 years old. About 5 years ago, I learned to play Go, and as I was playing it, I thought it might be fun to make these videos. I already had a chess channel. You can see Jim's chess channel over here, and so it was natural for me to start making videos about Go. And I had a lot of fun doing it. I have this beginning Go series. You can see this is on my front page. Let's see, there's the uploads, just my most recent videos, but the beginning Go series, these are my oldest videos. And if you go through them, actually I teach all the basics. In fact, the first two videos teach all the rules, and then the remaining videos are just consequences of the rules. It's an interesting game that way. You know, they're very simple rule set, but it can get really complicated. I think it's still, even though it's 4 years old, it's still a good introduction to Go, even though I wasn't a particularly strong player, but I play some sample games so you get an idea of how the game goes. And as far as the instructional part for each video, I used a reference. I was using a book, so I wasn't repeating, I wasn't making stuff up as I did the videos. I always tried to have a good reference for any facts about the game that I tried to present. And then after that, I started wanting to just play some games. I wanted to talk about Go some more, but without having to be right all the time. Don't have to research them if I'm just playing the Go and talking about my thoughts at the time. And as I worked my way through this series, I started playing on the 9x9 board. I worked my way up to a 13x13 board, and eventually went to the full-size board, which is 19x19. And at that point, I created a new playlist called Double Digit Q. And that playlist grew to be about 100 videos long. And I was making these videos about once a week. So every week I'd have a new video. And so 100 weeks to make a playlist. This playlist is 100 videos long, is 2 years. So in a period of 2 years, I went from about 20Q to about 14Q. This is a rating system. Now you can do better than that. I've been told that you can make single-digit Qs within a year if you work at it. But it probably depends on how old you are when you start. How quick you are at the time, and also how much energy you want to put into it. So I was doing other things besides playing Go, and I'm happy just learning and progressing at this rate. And I'm making this video on the occasion of finishing my second playlist. This was the next 2 years. I've gone from about 14Q to about 11Q. I'm actually cheating a little bit here, to be honest, because I was 14Q on OGS, and I improved to about 12Q on OGS. I even hit 11Q once, but I couldn't hold it. And then recently I've actually dropped back to 13Q. It's tough. It's a tough server to maintain that. But on PandaNet, I was able to get to 11Q and hold it, so I'm gonna count that. So I've made my way up to 11Q, and I think I've been getting better. Some people, at the end of my first playlist, I said I was gonna start a new playlist. Some people thought I should make single-digit Q in my next playlist, but it takes energy, takes a little bit of effort to improve, not just playing, but solving problems and things like that. In addition to these playlists on this channel, I also have some how-to videos. These are actually some of my most popular videos: how to use Sabaki and Leela Zero, and how to use Katago with Sabaki. Katago and Leela Zero are AIs. They're computer programs that play the game of Go. They play it very well. They're better than human players at this point. And the Katago is the user interface, the GUI that puts up the board. So that's interesting. If you're interested in the computer Go, those are some videos you can check out. On my other channel, on my chess channel, I have a chess basics playlist if you're interested in learning about chess, and I also have a learn to play shogi playlist. It starts well, actually, this playlist is all my shogi games, but I start out with a unboxing of a shogi set, and then I have a 5 video series of learn to play shogi, and then I play some games after that. So if you're interested in shogi, you can go and find that. Let's say on the right side of this channel are some other Go channels. Well, there's my channel, but there's some other Go channels you might want to check out. Haley is a professional Go player, and so is Michael Redmond. And Haley is no longer active, but she has or as active. I think she still makes videos occasionally, but she has quite a good selection of videos there. Michael Redmond is recently come to YouTube and has put up a bunch of good videos that are worth checking out. Dwyron and Nick Sabicki are 2 amateur players, but they're quite strong, and they have a lot of videos about Go. And there's the official AGA YouTube channel. So those are channels I can recommend for you to check out if you're interested in learning more about Go. And I have a few other playlists on this channel. Let's see. This is one of Dwyron's playlists, the Legend 88 Remastered series. Here's a playlist of basic Josekis that were created by Michael Redmond. Here's some Nick Sabicki videos I thought were interesting, the corner enclosure videos. And so anyway, you can explore, and that's what you can find on this channel. So as for my own progress, I have gone from 20Q to 14Q and 14Q to 11Q, at least on PandaNet. So I'm creating a new playlist called Road to SDK. I'm gonna commit and try to make it to a single-digit queue on the next playlist. So that gives me 2 years if I keep the playlist to 100 games. Of course, I could cheat and make the playlist longer, but that's my plan at this point. So anyway, this next segment in this video, I'm going to review the last game that I played, which is the last game in this double-digit queue playlist. And I'll probably use that also as a channel introduction. I'll probably use this video also as an introduction to the channel and put it on the front page. So anyway, that's coming up. Enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video. I thought I'd go over this game in a little more detail than I usually do. This is the game that I played last week. My game number 200, Still a Ways to Go, was the title. I thought I would go over it in a little more detail to try and maybe take a look at where I stand in terms of my current level of play and things that I need to work on. So let's just start going through the game here. If we can take a brief look at the graph, you can see that it's back and forth. As the graph rises here, actually that's better for me. And as it falls, that's worse for me. And around here, it drops down to less than 5% and stays that way for the rest of the game. So I'll concentrate on this early part. It's not that I didn't make mistakes back here or my opponent didn't make mistakes, but the information from the AI is not as informative because it's all the moves are losing anyway. It's just losing by less or more. I mean, in a realistic game, there are probably chances for me to get back into it with a few good moves in a row, but it's hard to discover that using the AI. So we'll concentrate on this part where the AI is giving some useful feedback and see how I can avoid getting to a situation in the first place where I'm behind and have to try and get back into the game. So I have the white pieces here, and so far so good. There is interesting tanuki here. The AI is suggesting playing this move. Not a move I thought of. It is like a small difference. It's not a big deal, but it's just interesting. Let's back up and consider these two moves. I mean, I do the two-space back off here as a natural response to my opponent's two-space back off. But, you know, he is not threatening my stone when he plays this. You know, a kick or a diagonal move would be putting a little more pressure on this stone, and then the two-space back off might be more justified. But since he's not leaning on this stone just yet, I don't need to defend it, and I can actually take a moment here to look around for a better move. So I would say this is an example of just playing routinely, not looking for the best move. Let's keep on going. Now he puts a little pressure on me, and I lean on him. This all seems to be okay, but then this one, this next point, here the AI would also tanuki. It would jump into the corner. This one makes sense to me too. Sometimes the AI moves are hard to figure out, but I think the message here is that after I do this lean, these stones, they're not in great shape, but they're not going to die easily either, and so I don't really need to keep pushing. And when I push, he doesn't necessarily have to respond, so I'm not keeping Sente with that move. And so in fact I could play elsewhere. This is not the only move, of course. I think actually just in closing here was a move that was recommended as well. Anyway, back to the game. So we're in a situation, a section of the game where pretty much every move is a mistake. And you see as the graph jumps up and down, it's, we're kind of swapping mistakes as players at this level tend to do. So I make a mistake and my opponent makes a mistake, but I'm focusing on mine. We're not talking about his mistakes. And here is another kind of mistake that I often make. Let's see, did I write that in the comment? Yeah, being passive. Someone asked once if your style, your playing style, translates from chess to Go. And I think it does, actually, after looking at this, because one of the criticisms of my chess play that stronger players have made is that I play too passively at times. And here's an example at Go where I'm doing the same thing. So the alternative here, I just defended. And, he was trying to sweep my base, and I just defended, almost a reaction. But there was an opportunity here to counterattack when he plays down there. Oh, I went forward. Let's go back. So he went here. Yeah, I could have pushed in and counterattacked the corner. This corner is not entirely safe. There's spots. There's spots where I could move in here. For example, I could jump into a point like that. That would be interesting. So there's ways to put pressure on the corner, and so I don't really need to defend myself so much. Okay, back to the game. But I did. I defended, and here's another example. This is slightly different. I was worried about the cut here, but once again, if I had been thinking of the counterattack, pushing through and attacking the corner, this is an opportunity to tanuki. Whereas the AI, okay, the AI is once again suggesting going into the 3-3. It's an opportunity to tanuki once again because this defense isn't needed. If black tries to cut here, then I can push through here and turn it around. Start to turn it against him. So I was a little bit too worried, but that is I would put that in a different category. I think that's an example of not being able to read exactly what's going to happen there and playing an extra move just to be safe. Okay, let's continue on. This move here, when I jumped in here, it actually would prefer the approach to the corner, but they were both kind of in the right direction, so not a bad idea there. And then this move was wrong direction. So apparently this side is okay for now, and what I should really be doing is strengthening the other side. Also approaching the corner. So this is kind of a dual purpose move, whereas the move I played, the jump out over here, is just a single purpose move. It's just keeping this area safe. It's not really, it's putting a little pressure on these stones, but without, since I didn't play a move over here, these stones can turn around and attack my lone stone over here. So they're not really in any danger by a move up here. So anyway, back to the game. So I played on this side, and then jumped out on the other side. I was trying to profit by chasing these stones, but it seemed to have backfired on me. Here's another example where this one is harder to understand, so I didn't put any comment there. But the AI thinks I should push in here instead of defending on that side. That requires maybe a little bit too much reading for my level. But something like this is maybe an opportunity to play a better move. So here's the other thing. So here's the other side of what I do sometimes. Sometimes when I need to play a defensive move, I don't, and I play away. So tanuking when a defensive move is called for is another common mistake that I made, and the AI is definitely suggesting I need to strengthen this move, and this weakness over here persists for the next phase of the game. But this was a point where simply playing this move, and I guess these 3 stones are strong enough that they have follow-ups later. I don't have to worry about them getting attacked. And actually have a positive win rate here up to 70%. So doing okay at this point. And well, I get even a better score at a certain point. Here, let's go to the next move. Another example of not being aggressive enough. I played the defensive move here with the Hane underneath. But a much stronger move is this cut. I really did not think about this cut at all, but this cut is a good move. I can descend here and put pressure on the corner, and then this stone, this black stone, is cut off. So you know, I can get some mileage out of chasing that stone around. So this is a really good move, and I get another chance to play that. Let's see. In the game, I played underneath here, and he responded. I connected, and then he he extended on this side, which was actually a mistake because he gave me one more chance to split, and you know, it seems he can't easily capture that splitting stone. I just was not seeing this, but I did not think of the split. And so that's an example of not thinking of the aggressive moves, I guess. So learning to be a little more aggressive in these situations where it's called for. And I think this was the highest point in the game in terms of win rate. Actually, my win rate after the split, if I had played the split here, my win rate is up to 85%. So his extension there was a blunder. But I played over here, and now that lets him fix his corner, and then I played the extension from these 2 stones. Where should I have played here? Yeah, there's a clamp in the corner here I could have played. Interesting attack. And the next one, so he turns over here and starts putting pressure on these stones, and I defended, and that was a bit of an incorrect defense. Actually, the simple connection here is a much better defense because it strengthens both stones. After the move I played, I still have a weak stone. I still have a weak stone here, and that persists through the next phase of the game. So that's a persistent weakness, and I could have fixed it once and for all right here when he's kind of encouraging me to play a defensive move, and if I just played this way, and I would still be okay at this point. I think black is better. As a commenter on my previous video pointed out, Zhenwei, he said that black has built a wall here and here, and he's going to push down. And these walls are, you know, well, they're splitting my stones, but they're also going to make it difficult for me to build in the center later in the game when I'm trying to get back into it. After I'm in bad shape, I try to build something in the center, and he's already got a lot of outside influence with these walls, so that's going to make it difficult for me to get back into the game. So, okay, back to the game. I played, yeah, instead of connecting, yeah, back here, instead of connecting this way, I just extended, trying to make some space for myself. There was some motivation, but it left a weakness behind. And then as we go forward, one more chance here. I played away. One more example of where I tanukied when I needed to defend. And the defense recommended by the AI here is the descent here. So now I have 2 stones here, 2 stones here. This is a little bit of a stronger shape here, and he can't hane underneath. So there were, if we stop at this point, I tanukied here, but there's been left behind 2 weak spots. There's this weak spot over here. The jump into the corner is still there, the clamp. And then there's this weak spot over here. I could defend with a descent, or black could attack with a hane underneath. So both of us have made the same kind of mistake. Black really needs to defend the corner, and white really needs to defend over here. And we both play away. And you'll see the graph. The graph is jumping up and down at this point in the game. And that's because the AI is saying, well, both of you are playing away when you should be dealing with these weaknesses. So we're about through to the point. Let's see, I guess there was one more chance I had to get into the game. We're not quite there yet, but this was a good point where I should come back and defend instead of, this would have been a good opportunity for me to come back and defend. Things are relatively stable over here, and instead I kept playing in this area. And let's see, was this my last chance over here? Yeah, right here. This was my last chance for an even game. And the move I played, yeah, I just played a shape move for this group. Just trying to make sure I was going to be able to live there, and also thinking about connecting up to these stones. Not a bad move in and of itself, but I'm ignoring some of the problems that are still on the board. And just to show how the AI, I played a few moves ahead with the AI just to give a sequence, an example of how the AI would continue from here. And the game is still about even if I would play like this. So I would take advantage of this clamp in the corner. Black would actually not respond over here. Maybe there's not a good response, or maybe this move is just bigger. But black would take this point down here, attacking my weakness. And then at this point, I would take the corner. Well, I guess, yeah, I'm just winning the corner that way. And black would attack over here, or extend this wall maybe and surround. And then my response here is to secure the corner. Black's response is to surround on this side, and my response is to extend up. So that's how the AI would continue the game from here. And notice that it first took care of these 2 weak areas that it was concerned about. There was this weakness over here, and there was this weakness over here. And it played those moves first, and then it just secured the corner over here, and then continued the fighting in this area. And it seems to be an even match at this point. But an example of 2 11Q players both ignoring their respective weaknesses, and but eventually this caught up with me when instead of playing there, let's say back to the game in this position, yeah, instead of playing the clamp in the corner, I just played here. Black continued, and let's see, I had one more chance to kind of, I mean, my win rate is now down around 20% or so, but I could have extended on this side. It seems I just extended on the wrong side. Extending on this side lets black turn, and once again we see that idea of black building a wall here. You know, black has this jagged wall and over here, which is again going to make it difficult for me to come back into the game and build anything in the center, whereas I could have extended in the other direction at this point. I could have extended here, kept black cut off, and maybe try and get into the center myself from these stones. Anyway, after that move, the win rate drops below 5%. We're here on the graph, and it never comes back up. There's a few little variations down there, but as I said, it's getting hard for the AI to give me much useful information at this point. So let's kind of roll through the game. And this is the phase where I'm trying to build something in the middle, but you can see black is using the strength over here to prevent me from building very much. And it can come in on from all directions basically and end up with a small space in the center. Anyway, I think it was a good try. I think it was still an interesting game, but from the AI's point of view, it's all over. And then there are a couple points here. Well, Zhenwei also asked, how about this move? I connected here in the corner, and I could have connected these 3 stones and saved them, but I was really worried. Black has this follow-up here. It's one of the suggested moves from the AI. These kind of clamps are really dangerous, and I might just lose the whole corner. And like I said, I can't use the AI. All of Black's moves are 99%, so it doesn't really distinguish between them. Black also could have done a move like this to be followed up with something like this if I defend over here or cut over here. So, I mean, back up. That was the wrong order. If I cut over here now, then he's got to follow up like this. Looks bad for me. I can't read that out myself, but it looks scary. So that's why I connected on this side. And like I said, it's hard to get an honest evaluation from the AI at this point because everything is losing for me anyway. And then one more point here. Oh yeah, this was just showing the clamp. Even after I protected this way on this side, this clamp is still dangerous because this is a very weak looking shape in the corner. So I may not have solved the problem in the corner anyway. Maybe I still needed to play there, but well, we both kind of played away at that point. And just go through to there was just one last kind of interesting point near the end, which shows by this point, I guess I was not paying much attention. But right here, yeah, this black move. I did notice that was an Atari, but these 4 stones are dead or need to be connected, and I didn't play there. I played somewhere else. Where did I play? Oh, I played down here. Yeah. So he could just take those stones. I really needed to connect, but I didn't. And well, what's funny is he never took those stones. We just went to the end of the game, and it went to scoring like this, and I got that point. in 16 is one of my points. Of course, that was not valid. But anyway, I was losing at this point anyway. Let's see. If we look at the estimate at this point, yeah, if the estimate counts that as my point, say I had connected there, I'm down by about 16 points. And if you look at the evaluation, it's the number of captures is about even. I have 6.5 points of Comey, but he's got an extra 22 points of territory. So it's pretty much a straightforward game. From that point of view, white just has, black. Black just has more territory than white. My corners are smaller, and I never was able to build much in the center, as we saw. So anyway, interesting game. That concludes this video, and I will see you guys in my new playlist, starting with game number 201. See you later. Bye.